appreciate it. So, okay, so my first question is, because I was reading your thread and I had to read it a few times because it sounded like you're leaving the Ethereum team, but you're really just leaving your role as facilitator. Is that
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, I've been doing the facilitation, coordination, whatever you want to call it, of the biweekly core developer meetings for Ethereum 1.0 for the last 4 years or so. And I'm stepping down from that role. And Tim Biko is going to be taking my place on that. But I'm still doing a bunch of work with Ethereum at the Ethereum Foundation and with the Ethereum cat herders and other things.
okay? And I was going to ask you about the cat herders because it wasn't until I read your thread that I heard about that. What exactly is that?
So that's a group that was started about, at this point, a year or maybe 2 years ago. Man, I can't remember anymore. But yeah, the Ethereum Cat Herders was a group that was founded to provide coordination services for Ethereum projects, especially ones that are underfunded and open source and stuff around protocol development. So, for example, Ethereum Cat Herders gets funding and doles out funding and organizes note taking for the Ethereum 2.0 calls, the Ethereum All Core Dev 1.0 calls, the ones that I'm in, and other things like that. They pay like 50 or 100 DAI or whatever stable coin you want for the notes that are being taken. They've also done some stuff with EIPs doing the Ethereum improvement proposals. We're working on improving them by having some biweekly meetings that talk about improvements and what we can do to get more editors on board, as well as um, clean up the repository and stuff like that. So it's kind of like these weird niche protocol level and sometimes higher level coordination areas involve things that people don't want to do or don't have the funding for. The cat herder step in.
Gotcha. And now you've been with Ethereum since 2013, is that right?
No, I've been with the Ethereum Foundation since the summer of 2016. I've been with Ethereum just as just kind of a general onlooker fan since 2015.
Okay, 2015. Okay. So what was it about Ethereum, especially for people who don't know? What was it about Ethereum and I guess you could say Vitalik by extension that really piqued your interest?
So, Vitalik released a white paper in 2014, or really it was 2013, but it was late enough most people read it in 2014 about Ethereum. And when I read it, it just really clicked for me because everyone kind of knows about Bitcoin if you're in the cryptocurrency space and how its main use case is either, depending on who you ask, peer-to-peer electronic cash or a store of digital value, like gold or digital gold. So what Ethereum does is it takes that idea and instead of having just one or two use cases, it puts programs on the blockchain so that you can run a program without downtime and with censorship resistant elements and things like that, so that you have this free flowing information through programs and you can have a bunch of different use cases. And what we're seeing right now is the proliferation of decentralized finance use cases, but in the future, there's going to be a lot more stuff with prediction markets and other really unique use cases on Ethereum. So, in general, what got me excited was this prospect of programs on the blockchain and the censorship resistant aspects of Ethereum.
Right, because once Ethereum and smart contracts specifically started becoming more common, the whole DeFi space just exploded and that was in what, maybe the last 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, precisely.
So we're they we just rolled into Ethereum 2.0. So how do you feel that project's going? Like where do you see yourself in that space?
Sure. So Ethereum 2.0 is really exciting. It's over the years, it's been in development for years, but over the years, it's had a lot of iterations. And right now, the current iteration that we're on and the plan is to have it roll out in phases and have ETH 1.0 be merged into ETH 2.0. We're calling it the merge. So right now, we just have phase zero launched. So for people who use Ethereum every day, in general for ETH 2.0, you shouldn't notice that much of a difference if you're a user, but especially right now, you won't notice a difference because we're just doing a lot of the plumbing. We're not doing anything that like you're actually visibly seeing yet. We've launched what's called the beacon chain, which helps with deciding validators for the proof of stake system and is really the underlying main thing about proof of stake in Ethereum. So we've launched the beacon chain. That's been really successful. We haven't had any problems with that. And in the future, we're going to see more things roll out in phase 1 or phase 1.5, depending on kind of how we iterate through the program. And where I see myself helping in all of this, it's actually a lot of this me stepping back from the core developer liaison, core developer facilitator role is kind of stepping out of that and putting other people more in the spotlight and more in the roles to handle that kind of thing. People like Tim and Baiko and James Hancock and Pooja Ranjan from the Ethereum community are going to be very essential in working with people from the ETH 2.0 team like Danny Ryan and working with them to help with the ETH 1 to ETH 2 merge. Right now, there's 2 separate meetings, one for ETH 1, one for ETH 2, but eventually it's all going to come together during the merge.
So for yourself, your role was basically getting all these pieces together in order to be able to talk and see what needs to be done and make sure everybody knew their place at when they needed to be.
Yeah, I consider myself a connector and facilitator more than just about anything else in the ecosystem. And so I do like to get groups together, kind of have people do meetings. That's why I founded and participate in the Ethereum Catherders is this ethos of participation and getting people together and having inclusion among the different people in the ecosystem. So yeah, I would say that I'm kind of a connector in that way and that I'll be helping out during the ETH2 transition, but in a different capacity and in maybe a less public facing capacity than what I'm doing now.
And it's interesting that we're able to do that now where, because because of the lockdowns, people are getting used to working from home and doing what we're doing now, where crypto has been doing that for years.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, how you hold it up, Hudson? I'm like, well, this is kind of what I was doing already.
The going back to your Twitter thread,
Mhm.
The Ethereum Foundation is everything as far as your role in that is staying the same, except for the facilitator part
Of the core dev
and
meetings, yes.
of the core dev. Do you think it's going to be some time before the core dev calls are back up and running, or do you think it's going to be a smooth transition?
Oh, it'll be a very smooth transition. I'm actually not like leaving tomorrow. I'm going to be working with Tim to get him acclimated to the role. He basically already has it down because he's helped me before with some of the calls and he's been my backup. So um, he is going to be over the next few months helping me more and more with the core dev calls and getting used to it. And the next Ethereum network upgrade is called the Berlin hard fork.
Mhm.
And that's coming up in Q1 to Q2 of next year. And I'll be doing the core dev meetings still facilitating until after that is done. So that'll be my mark of I'm fully out of this after Berlin's done.
Okay, so after the Berlin fork, then you can step away completely from that role and continue on with the other things. Well,
Mhm.
for example, what was it? Because in your thread, you're saying you wanted to look at other projects. So, what other projects were you thinking about?
Sure. I so inside the Ethereum Foundation, I've traditionally done some variety of roles, but some of them involved organizational security, the DevCon yearly Ethereum conferences, helping organize and plan for that, and then DevOps. And now I'm going to be doing some different things, some kind of um, onboarding roles, some operations roles, and things like that. But that's kind of boring stuff, and it's not public facing. So that's just kind of what I'm doing behind the scenes. But as far as other projects go, right now I have a really exciting opportunity that I was elected to the Zcash MGRC, which is the Major Grants Review Committee.
Nice.
And it's a 5-member committee, and um, every block, there's a certain percentage of the block reward that goes to the MGRC. We actually renamed ourselves to ZOMG, the Zcash Open Major Grants.
Okay.
And that block reward is going to add up to millions and millions of dollars, we think, depending on the price. And we need to have a committee that is of, elected people in Zcash to dole out those funds. So I'm one of the 5 members of that committee, and we just launched this month, actually. I think it was just a few weeks ago we launched, and you can go to at ZcashOMG, or I think it's zcashomg.org, and see what we're all about and apply for a grant if you're interested in privacy preserving technology. Zcash has been a friend of Ethereum's for a long time. We usually have Zcashers present at DevCon and other conferences, and same thing with Zcash conferences and everything. So there's a lot of cross collaboration with these zero knowledge proofs and other technologies. So there's a lot of synergy there, and I think it's a good place for me to be in.
Nice, nice. Well, Hudson, thank you so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm happy to do it, and just let me know if you ever have any other Ethereum questions, if you're writing an article or anything like that. I'm usually open to help. If I'm not, sometimes I'm not super responsive if it's like certain times of day because I have weird sleeping hours, but so does everyone else, it seems like.
Right. I don't know what day it is. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so
All right, well,
much.
have a good
Hudson.
holiday season.
You too. Happy holidays.
Bye.
All right.